when we are doing at the end of the month, when we are performing, when we are figuring out the actual profit and loss account along with the balance sheet, then we do require foreign currency valuations. So if at all you have any balance pending on the last day of the month, there we need to revalue the foreign currency in order to have our balance sheet profit and loss account properly, a true value of profit and loss account and balance sheet. So in this regard, we have started, the configuration, and I think we have created a valuation method, and I hope we also have completed the valuation area. But anyways, let's see now. So we went into financial accounting, general ledger accounting, periodic process, valuate, and we have seen valuation methods. I think we also have created the valuation area. Yes, we are considering the standard one, valuation method, and we have created V1 as valuation area, and the currency type is company code currency. We are considering the company code currency. Next, check assignment of accounting principle to ledger group. Okay, assignment of accounting principle to ledger group. So path is same, just execute. What are we doing here? The ledger which we want to consider, you know, we will be assigning a one accounting principle. So the foreign currency valuation, so you can do based on the accounting principle as well. One accounting principle may say only if it is a loss it has to be considered. It means one accounting principle may say lowest value, another accounting principle may say always valued. So you can create the valuation methods accordingly, and we will be assigning them to the accounting principle. How? Let's see. So valuation area is assigned here to the accounting principle, and accounting principle will be linked to the ledger group. Ledger group is nothing but our ledger, our combination of ledgers. So first we are seeing here the assignment of accounting principle to ledger group. Path is same, just execute. Here we have different accounting principle along with the ledger group. So what I will say, gap we have, so I will go ahead and use the same thing, and I'm using 0L is my target ledger group. So 0L to this ledger group, gap is assigned. Okay, gap is assigned to this ledger group 0L. I'm just going with the standard one, or if you want to have your own, you can go just create in the new entries. There is nothing in this. Once you go into the new entries, you will have to consider accounting principle along with the ledgers. That's it. Okay, just we will have to do. So I'm considering gap for 0L is my ledger group. We are considering this. Okay, now what I'm doing, that accounting principle gap will be linked to valuation area. So path is same, just execute. So we don't have any entries, so go to new entries. What is our valuation area? We have created one valuation area, V1. Select the same thing, and accounting principle, our accounting principle is gap. Select the one. Okay, just save it. So this way, what is happening here, the valuation area is linked to accounting principle, and accounting principle is linked to ledger. Okay, Valuation area is linked to accounting principle and accounting principle is linked to ledger. So this valuation area is linked to valuation method. What is valuation method? It is based on certain parameter. It means in our case we are following by always valuate. Okay, that is what this. Next is activate delta logic. Normally we don't do this. What is the meaning of this delta logic? We don't activate normally. Okay, here I'm not activating anything. Okay, so if you want you can select this thing, but what is the meaning of it? Let's discuss something about it. Yesterday we were discussing about, we were discussing about the valuation method, valuation area, right? We were discussing about valuation area and valuation methods. Now, what is this activate delta logic? Now, at the end of the month, as part of foreign currency valuation, what entry do we have? We will have debit, unrealized gain, loss, gain, or loss. This is in the case of loss. So this account is debited only in the case of loss. In the case of gain, this will be credited. Now, credit will be balance sheet adjustment account, right? This is what we have discussed. So when this transaction is going to happen, it happens on the last day of the month. Okay, 31st August. And as I said, this will be reversed. When this will be reversed, you can specify a particular date if you want to, or what system does is system will consider the first day of the next month for this reversal. If you want, we can specify a specific date. Now, what is happening here? Whatever the provision entry that we are posting on the last day of the previous month will be reversed on the first day of the current month. This is what the normal tendency. Okay, let's say we got a loss of 1,000. Let us consider. Okay, we got 1,000 loss. Let us assume, and the entry has been posted like this. This is on 31st August. So this transaction is happening because the amount is pending still. We have not paid, we have not made any payment to the vendor, and still it is pending. So that's how you can see this unrealized gain or unrealized loss. Let's say on 30th September, again this is on 30th September, this is pending still. On 30th September, still it is pending. It means we have not paid even in the month of September. Now what happens? Unrealized. Okay, let me take an example here. Let's say AUD to USD. Okay, and the transaction currency is AUD. I've posted 1,000 AUD, and that became as 800 in USD. This is at the time of invoice. On 31st August, let's say 1,000 AUD became as 900. It means we got a loss of 100. Let us assume 100 here. Let us take the same 100. Now, on 30th September, let's say 1,000 AUD is 950. Okay, so on 31st August, since we have a loss of 100, it means at the time of invoice it was 800, and on 31st August the value raised to 900. It means there is a loss of 100. I've posted 100 to unrealized gain or loss account along with balance sheet adjustment account. In the normal process, what happens? On 1st September, this gets reversed, right? This gets reversed. Debit becomes credit, credit becomes debit. So now this is a credit entry. Okay, so what we will be doing, we will be doing a debit entry. Okay, debit entry to this, and unrealized whatever we have debited over there, that will be credited here. So that will be credited with the same amount, 100. It means this is nullified. Now on 30th September, what happens is credit balance sheet adjustment account. So now the entry going to be, at the time of invoice it was 800, now it is 950. So it means 150 is the difference. We will be posting 150 only, and the same will be reversed on 1st October. This is what the normal process. Now with this delta logic, what happens? It means as on 31st August, debit unrealized gain or loss will be debited with 100, and credit balance sheet adjustment account, okay, with 100. This is on 31st August. Now this will not be reversed at all. The transaction will not be reversed on 1st September. Now on 30th September, debit unrealized gain or loss and credit balance sheet adjustment account. So what is the amount? The delta amount. So earlier we have considered 100. Now the amount is to be considered as a 150. So what is the difference? That will be considered. This is what we call it as delta logic. This is what we call it as delta. It means whatever the additional amount that we have, that only can be seen. Suppose in the first month there was a loss of 100, in the current month let's say there is a profit of 50. So what happens? This unrealized gain account will be credited and balance sheet account will be debited with the balance amount. Okay, so what is going to be the balance amount? It means 100 is the loss and the profit is 50. What is the net amount? 50 is the loss. So in the case of loss, 50 is the loss that you need to show, right? That you need to show. Are you following with me? So 50 should be shown. So in, for that reason, the income in such a case, credit, sorry, debit balance sheet adjustment account with 50, and credit unrealized gain or loss with 50. So what happens in such a case is unrealized gain here is showing as debit 100 and here it is showing as a credit 50. So ultimately what is the net amount that we have in this account? 50 on the debit side. It means still we have a loss of 50. So this process is called delta. This process is called delta. So it means whatever the difference that we are finding, that will be posted as part of the delta logic. So we normally don't select this. We want that to be closed on the first day of the next month. So if you want that, you don't have to do anything over here. Okay, that is the meaning of the delta. Right. Coming to the foreign currency valuation. Right. Prepare automatic postings for foreign currency valuations. So path, IMG, financial accounting, general ledger accounting, periodic processing, evaluate foreign currency valuation, and prepare automatic postings for foreign currency valuation. Now, why it is important? Now, when you see a transaction, you will be finding debit unrealized gain, a credit balance sheet adjustment account, or credit, you know, credit unrealized gain or loss, and debit balance sheet adjustment account. These these transactions, I mean, this journal entry, we are not posting. It means user is not posting this journal entry manually. As soon as we complete this transaction FAGL underscore FC with, system will generate an entry. So unrealized gain or loss, balance sheet adjustment account. The entry will come up automatically. So in order to get a particular GL, we have to maintain the relevant GLs. That for that reason we are going into this transaction. Prepare automatic postings for foreign currency valuations. Okay, foreign currency valuations. So just execute. Here we have KDF. We will see KDB little later, not required at the moment, but we will see KDF. Exchange rate difference, open item or GL accounts. This can be used for open items as well as GL accounts. What are open items accounts? Open items are vendors customers. Vendors customers are considered open items. Apart from open item, I mean vendor and customer, we also have some of the GLs, you know, in some of the GLs maintained as open item managed account. We also maintain few GLs in the open item managed accounts. So here we will be considering them as well. Apart from those open item, we also have GL accounts. The GL accounts which are created in the foreign currency, all those GLs will be coming into picture. It means, let's say our company code currency is USD, but I'm creating a particular GL using Singaporean dollar. So it means whenever I'm creating any GL with a foreign currency, all those GLs also will come under this purview. All those GLs are also will be coming under this purview. So I'm opening another session. Let me create a GL, okay, in the foreign currency, and we will discuss from there. Okay, so let me take one balance sheet account. It can be a liability or something. Okay, I will say other liabilities, right? This is other liability. Okay, no problem. So what I'll do, 1,25,000, I'll say, okay, and I will say loan account. I'll just say it as loan account. Okay, same properties, but in the control data, here instead of USD, I'll put it as AUD. Okay, I'll put it as AUD, and remaining things are all same. I'm not creating it as an open item managed, but it is a normal GL with the foreign currency. Just save it. What are open items that we will discuss later? Okay, so I've created a loan account with AUD as my currency. Now let's take this GL account. Let us take this GL account, because since I'm posting the foreign currency transactions to this GL needs to be reevaluated at the end of the month. That is the meaning of this. Since the GL is created with AUD, So if at all we have any AUD transactions posted into this GL, all those transactions have to be revalued at the end of the month. That is the purpose of this. Okay, so when I'm revaluating this GL, if at all I have unrealized gain or unrealized loss, which account which account has to be hit, which account has to be triggered, right? And which balance sheet adjustment account has to be considered. So that configuration is required for this GL account. So what I'm doing, I'm going into the configuration area. Okay, so just double click on KDF, give a chart of accounts, enter. Here we don't have any. Just go to new entries and enter 1,25,000. I'm not specifying a currency. If I specify a particular currency, it means system will pick up only the transactions posted in this current currency of this account. Let's say in this account, I have created in AUD. So I have posted 10 AUD transactions, 2 Euro transactions. Now in this, I have just mentioned as AUD. It means system will consider only those 10 transactions while revaluing the foreign currency at the end of the month. So if I don't mention any currency here, it means whatever the currency we post, system will pick up all of them while revaluing at the end of the month. Similarly, currency type. If you want to consider a particular currency type, yes, you can consider, or otherwise, if you ignore, it will consider all. I mean, group currency, hard currency, and as well as the company code currency. Okay, so that is the meaning of it. So I'm not entering any currency. I want system to consider everything. As I mentioned earlier, exchange rate difference realized, and this is a valuation. When the realized will come into picture, let's say I have a vendor invoice posted in the foreign currency, and system will pick up the exchange rate at the time of posting an invoice entry. Let's say on 1st of August, we have posted an invoice with some exchange rate. Now we are paying the amount to this vendor. At the time of the payment, again system will go and check the foreign currency. If there is a change in the exchange rate, and at the time of payment to a vendor, we will have either loss or profit. That loss or profit is called a realized loss or realized gain. So system will pick up the GL from this. In the case of gain, it will pick up this thing. In the case of loss, it will pick up this thing. So normally you can consider one GL for both of them, or for losses case, you can consider one GL, and in the case of gain, you can consider one more GL. Okay, this is in the case of realized and unrealized. At the end of the month, when we are calculating the foreign currency valuation, system will pick up from here valuation loss and valuation gain and adjustment account. This we will discuss later, not now. Okay, so I'm not sure whether we have created a separate GL for realized gain and realized loss. Let's see that. Yeah, we have a separate GL for realized and unrealized. Okay, so let us take 4,39,000 is my realized gain or loss. So let me take that realized gain and realized loss. 4,39,000. So I'm considering 4,39,000 both in the case of loss and gain, or if you want to create one for one on the expenses side, one on the income side, and you can consider accordingly. You can do that as well. Then valuation, unrealized gain and unrealized loss. This is what the unrealized gain and loss. So let's take the same thing, 4,40,000. Okay, here as a loss and even in the case of gain. And how about the balance sheet adjustment account? We have created one balance sheet adjustment account. This is what the one, 1,21,000. I've taken them, just saving. I'm just considering in the case of realize what are the GLs, and in the case of valuation at the end of the month, what are the GLs to be considered. The translation part we will discuss later. Just save it. Done. So like that, we will have to consider all the open item managed GLs. Okay, the open item, whatever are the GLs that we are creating in the open item, all have to be considered here. And apart from that, if at all you are using any GL in the foreign currency valuation, you will have to consider all of them here. Just for our understanding, just we have created one GL in the foreign currency, and we are posting some foreign currency transactions to this GL, and we can see the impact of the unrealized gain and unrealized loss. Any questions?
Yes, Nanda.
Yes.
About the delta you said earlier,
Hmm.
so if we use that functionality, then we do not require to reverse the entry on next month, right?
Hmm.
Like, yeah. So it is a continuations basis,
Correct.
because if last month has
Delta
$100.
will be considered. Okay.
So basically we do not require to just reverse the entry
Correct.
next month. Oh, okay, so it is a continuations basis. Like first month, foreign exchange gain is $100. Next month is $50 loss. So it takes plus and minus, and that carried forward the balance of
Net
like
balance.
$50.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Okay, all right.
Yep.
How the system knows to reverse when it gets paid.
See, at the time of payment, system will automatically take that and will reverse the entire transaction, whatever we have posted as part of Delta.
And Nanda, like you also said, all GL open item we have to list in this screen, right? Can you
Hmm.
give us some example about like what kind of GL account we are talking about when it comes to the open items?
Yeah, we
Let,
will discuss that later.
Okay, all right.
I'll talk about that little later.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
So just for example, I'm just giving an example here. In the case of bank account, we will have main bank account, and under main bank account, we will have some sub ledger, sub accounts like check issue, check receipt, all those things. Those are to be maintained as open item managed accounts. At the moment, just remember that part. We will discuss that part little later.
Okay,
Any other questions?
no.
Okay, fine. So all the GLs, open item GLs or GLs which are maintained in the foreign currency are to be maintained here with realized gain or unrealized GLs. Okay, right. So now this GL is coming under the purview of foreign currency revaluation, because this has a this has unrealized gain or loss, realized gain or loss. Okay. Then after that, after this transaction, we will be Right. So we are done with the configuration. So this KDF is the one that we are discussing. Okay, we will discuss about KDB in the later class, and payment difference for alternative currency. This is we require in the case of alternative currencies. If you want to show them in another currencies, then we will be considering for this. Okay. So but normally we will maintain the GLs here in KDF, and sometimes we probably might use KDB. Here in the case of alternative currency, just we will maintain one GL or here. That's it. Okay, I'm just saving. You can see a GL account. Okay, that's fine. So this is what basically the entry and this is one of the important transaction code, OKB9. Sorry, OBA1. OKB9 is some default cost center. Sorry. Okay, OBA1. OBA1 is the transaction code. This is one of the important transaction codes. Got it?
Nanda, what is that GL account 125000 stands for? What that account
This
is?
is what the GL we have created to post Australian dollar. That is what
Okay.
we just created here. I've
Okay.
just created a loan account with AUD currency.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So now, yeah, let us post a transaction. Let's see. Okay. So I'm just going into FB50 or FB01. You can use any transaction. I'm using FB01. Let's say before that, we will have to see what is the exchange rate we have. So MAUD to USD. What is the exchange rate on 11th August? 1 AUD equals 3 USD. Okay. And prior to that, let me do one more thing. I'll put 14th date. On 14th date, the exchange rate is changed to 4. I'm just giving an example because why I'm considering two rates, because I'll be posting one entry with this, and at the end of the month the rate is different. So if at all you have exchange rate difference, either it is a loss or profit side, if at all you have some difference, then foreign currency valuation concept comes into picture. Okay, so for that reason I'm posting a revised exchange rate on this date. So what I will do, I'll post a transaction considering any date prior to 14th. I'll put 13th or 12th of August, so that system will consider this exchange rate. Okay, so let me open another screen and I'll post a transaction. Okay, FB01. Let me take 12th August 2019 SA 12th August 2019. So what I'll do now, if you see over here, let me show you one error. I'm taking 1,25,000 on the debit side. Now the moment I say enter, system will give me one error. What happened? Okay, fine. Document date. Now you see posting to account 1,25,000 company code are only possible in currency AUD. So we need to change the currency here. Okay, FB01. 12 again. I'm considering 12th August and I'll put AUD. There is one field over here. If you want, you can maintain the exchange rate here itself. And if you want to specify, currently the date is 12th, right? So when we are posting the transaction, whatever the currency exchange rate maintained, the latest exchange rate that will be considered. It means since we are posting on 12th, the latest one is a 14th, but the posting date is 12th, right? So for 12th, what is the latest one? The latest is going to be 11th. Here the exchange rate says as 3. But if you want to consider it as a 2 or 1.5 or something else, you can enter the same thing here in this field. Okay, now what I'm doing, I will take 40 here. I will say 1,25,000 GL, note amount tolerance entered something it says, let's see. Okay, now I'll say here 1,000. If you see here, since I'm posting in foreign currency, I can see foreign currency along with the local currency. Okay, let me take a profit center. This is a balance sheet account. In the case of balance sheet GL, we should not consider the cost center. We should consider profit center. So I'm selecting one profit center. Okay, 1,000. Now if you see 50, let me take one GL, probably bank GL or something. I'm just selecting one random. I'm not going by the entry level or something, but I'm just showing you the entry. Okay, Bank of America, enter. See, if you see over here, 1,000 converted into 3,000. How did this happen? This is based on the exchange rate what we have maintained over here. Okay, 1,000 USD AUD will be 3,000 USD. No amount to tolerance range entered for company code. So something went wrong. Someone has changed the configuration. Let me go here and find that tolerance groups. What do we have? So we have here, but still why it is saying no amount to tolerance range entered for company code. I've just entered, see it says as no amount to tolerance range entered for company code 1248. Here, global settings document line item tolerance group for employees. I think we have done it already, right? For employees, it is asking for employees. Document. This is basically for employees only. We have maintained here company code 1248. Why? Amount to tolerance range entered for company code 1248. Tolerance group for employees. If we have entered the correct company code, ensure that at least one tolerance group is created. Tolerance group, it is expecting a group. Okay, so let's create tolerance group and let's see. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just delete this. Okay, save it. and I'm just taking the standard one, copying it. I'll say 1248 as my group. Company code is also 1248. Okay, 1248. I'm just pressing enter, save it. The same, we got this kind of error earlier also in the earlier system. Okay, so let's see, let us pause this transaction again now. Okay, now I'm going back and posting the transaction again. FB01, I'm taking 12th August, 12th August, and AUD is the currency. 40, 40, 1,25,000, 125, 000, no tolerance range entered. Again, the same, I think, $1,000 profit center and credit bank account. Something going wrong. Okay, let's add this thing to here. 1248 and save. We have done this similar activity in the earlier system also, but later on I have removed. Let us see how it works now. To 12th August and AUD. 1,25,000 is my loan GL, which I have created here in the foreign currency. I have not checked whether it is perfect or what. Let's see. Yeah, it is perfect. So I don't understand why this is required. Okay, 12th August 2019. Okay, now if you see here, 1000 AUD became as 3000 USD. This is due to the exchange rate what we have maintained over here. On 12th of August, 12th, we don't have specific exchange rate maintained for 12th of August, but system considers the latest rate. Okay, for 12th of August, the latest rate is 11. Since the 11th has this exchange rate, system picked up accordingly. Okay, and just post it. Item category is not maintained. Yes. So 1,25,000. This is a document splitting. Every GL, whatever we create, that has to be maintained in the document splitting. That is what we have discussed earlier. So let's do this now. So 1,25,000 is the GL. This GL is basically a balance sheet. So what I'm going to do, I will assign the category as balance sheet. Just save. Okay, let's go back to the transaction. Let us pause this transaction again. FB01, 12th August. 1,25,000. I will say, sorry, here I've selected this thing USD FB01 12th August AUD 1,25,000 is the GL. Okay, so 1,000 is the amount and profit center going to be 1,000. Posting keys 50 credit GL, and I'm taking a bank account 1,000, taking a due date. And if you see a document simulate, you can see Zenal entry. If you see the Zenal entry, you can see AUD, which is the transaction currency. Now if you select the display currency, and you can see local currency. Local currency is what? USD. USD is 3,000. What is the group currency? I think group currency is something else, not the USD. Euro. Okay. And similarly, hard currency, we have a different hard currency. I don't remember exactly. It's GBP. Okay. So just to save it, saved. 1006 is the document number. So you can see the same document here in the display. So all you need is just to select this display currency, or you can pull that information using the change layout also. Any questions here in the foreign currency transaction? Any questions? Okay. So in the next class, we will be running the foreign currency valuation, which is called FCV, foreign currency revaluation. The path for this is going to be this.
Nanda.
Yes.
Okay. In a previous screen, you define GL account and also the different unrealized and realized GL account, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there could be so many other GL accounts. So we have to do for all those accounts as well to.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
In A1, that's what I did mention. You have to maintain these foreign currency transactions for all open item accounts. Okay.
Okay.
And the GLs which you are doing for any foreign currency transactions. You will have to maintain for all of them. Since I have created one new GL using the AUD, I did mention the same GL.
Okay. So in a companies there could be like like hundreds of accounts. So we have to do. Oh.
All have to be maintained over here. If you don't maintain, system will not calculate foreign currency valuation. System will throw up an error saying the
Hmm.
account determination is missing. You need to maintain the realized or unrealized GLs, balance sheet adjustment GLs. Without that, system will not perform this transaction.
I see. So if there are, 400, 300, accounts, we have to do for all the accounts, right?
Correct.
And oh,
Correct.
So is there any way we can do it automatically
There
or
is no
in a
other way
batch?
you can do LSMW. You can create an LSMW, you can maintain
Okay,
the same.
I see.
These days we have some technical tools like bots. We have now bots. So using bots, we can load the data.
Oh, never
We
heard
can
of that
use
bots.
LSMW.
Yeah, is a very recently new tools came up.
Which one?
The bots you said, BO.
Yes, bots has been in the market for almost 2, 3 years.
Oh, 2, 3 years. Okay.
Okay, so this is the transaction we will do foreign currency valuations, FAGL underscore FC. So path for this is easy access, financial accounting, general ledger, periodic processing, closing, valuate, and FAGL underscore FCV.
Hello, madam.
So yeah,
The F dash 05 and this one, what is the difference?
sorry.
The F Z F dot 05, right? Or H dash 05 for the
Uh-huh.
for posting
This is
that.
a old transaction code.
Oh, okay. So
No,
that
no, no.
is
This is not the old transaction code also, not like old transaction code also. It is just post foreign currency valuation. Probably some transaction posting, but it looks like the entry only, normal foreign currency transaction only.
so the F dot
This
05
cannot be the one.
is going off, right?
Yeah, this is not the right entry. I mean, this is not the right transaction code
Yes.
for foreign currency valuation. Let's see. Let me post a transaction right away. It is not updating over here. Let's see. Go to display 1007 and selecting display currency, local currency. It says a zero. It means it is not converting. You can post only in foreign currency. This particular transaction code is used to post only in foreign currency. And that too you have, you know, you don't have any, so you're not finding any values. So it means it will get updated only in foreign currency. It will not get updated in the local currency, all other for parallel currencies. F-05. This is basically for ledger group. It means you can create these kind of transactions in order to meet certain accounting principles. Okay, so this is not basically used for foreign currency valuation. I think earlier there was one transaction code, I really don't remember, but in the new versions it says as FAGL underscore FCV. I don't remember F.05 or something. I don't remember. There was a old T code for this, but I don't remember. I don't remember anyways. So the current transaction code is F FAGL underscore FCV.
Is
Okay.
is this a new T code? I don't think it's not F, is it FCV?
See,
Before it was VAL, correct? FAGL underscore VAL.
I think so.
I think this
Okay.
is the new one.
FAGL underscore VAL. does
Okay.
not exist. Probably I don't remember exactly. There was old code, but the latest transaction code is FAGL underscore FCV.
Okay.
Okay, so we will be discussing this tomorrow because some important point that we need to discuss here in this. Any questions?
No, sir.
Yep. So we'll continue to use we will close this foreign currency revaluation, this topic tomorrow. Okay.
All
And
right.
after that, we have few more topics relating to this that we will discuss. Okay.
All right.